Start the recording.
Okay.
Yay.
Awesome.
Okay, you're going to have to unmute. So again, welcome to Zoom, everybody. And I told Cora earlier that she is the prize for you guys. And this is everyone that turned in their IPAs. And I kind of opened it up to the other two groups just because I know you're amazing and I wanted them to hear what you had to say. But going forward, they have to turn in their IPAs or they're not going to get to the next one. So Cora Hoffman is, she will be gold executive this month. I'm going to go ahead and declare that over her. She missed it last month by 11,000 points. And we were counting it down and cheering her on. And it just, you know what, God's got his own timing for everything. So so this month is her month. But she has taken this business, ran with it, and done amazing things. I've enjoyed watching her. I've enjoyed learning from her. I adore her, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear from her. So please make welcome August Gold Executive, Cora Hoffman.
Thank you. Take two. Do you want me to go through everything again or no? Or kind of left off? Everybody was on before, right?
There's new people on.
Okay. Well,
just an overview, quick overview.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll do like a quick overview. So I back in 2019, when I found this system, I was completely rock bottom with my weight. I had gone through menopause at 35 years old. I was 43 in 2019. And I had tried everything under the sun to lose weight. You know, we were also in a situation where, like, you know, we were super broke. We had two teenagers at that time that were, you know, just going into, one was going into 11th and one was going into 12th. We had all those expenses on top of the normal expenses. So we were freaking broke. And I can remember lying, you know, starting to think about college for my daughter, especially. My kids are a year apart. So boom, boom. And we've always been broke because of it. No, I'm joking. But you know, I can remember lying in bed at night worrying about how are we ever going to pay for college. Like we were those parents that always said, you know, after high school, you know, college is like 13th grade. So we were going to make it happen. I have no idea how we were going to do it, but we were going to do it. We would have had to get loans out the yin yang and so on and so forth. Right. So anyways, that's where we were at that moment in time. You know, I had gained 60 pounds after being diagnosed with menopause. And I was on Facebook one day and came across this girl doing her Facebook story, a live story on Facebook. And we were not even friends on Facebook. And I heard her say, and I've lost 80 pounds and kept it off for 5 years. Well, that stopped me in my tracks. And I messaged her right away and said, what are you doing? And she started messaging me the weird stuff that we messaged. And I was like, okay, I want you to call me because this is, I guarantee you, not true. So she did. She called me. We ended up talking for over an hour. And at the end of that conversation, I said, okay, I know what I want. I want the ultimate and I want shine. How much is that going to be? And she told me the price and I nearly fell out of my chair. I certainly didn't have, you know, what that would have cost me. But, you know, and I told her, I don't have the money. I'm really broke right now. And I wasn't lying. I was literally negative 36 cents in my account. So when people tell you they're broke, they're really freaking broke, you guys. So, you know, my husband and I both have good jobs. I've been a nurse for 20 years. My husband's been a manager for Publix, a meat manager for Publix for 27 years. But you know what? We've always robbed Peter to pay Paul. We've lived like that. We've been together since we were 18. This is how we've lived our whole entire life, you know? So anyways, so I ended up 3 weeks later, I didn't even tell him, but I called that little girl. I said, listen, I'm ready to order the Ultimate Plus Shine. She probably about fell off her chair too, thinking I would never call her. Right. And I said, okay, I'm ready to order. I want the Ultimate Plus Shine. And my husband, but what happened was my husband got a bonus check from work and I did not even tell him. I just ordered it, you guys. For fear that he would say no. And, you know, really, I think for me, the the thing that I could hold on to was I could tell him I had 45 days to try it. And if it didn't work, I could send it back. So anyways, ended up popping on an 8-day jump start. By day 2, that zing kicked in. It felt like a light switch had gone off. And I called that girl, that complete stranger. I said, listen, what in the hell is in this stuff? I'm like, I feel like I don't even know. It's like an outer body experience. I have more energy than I know what to do with. And it's day 2. And she was like, girl, throw this out on your wall. So she sent me this little post that said, day 2 on this system, I've got more energy than I know what to do with. And people started blowing that post up. First of all, though, they messaged me and they were like, girl, has somebody hacked your damn account? And I was like, and I was like, no, I'm telling you, this stuff is awesome. I would say, I don't know what it is. Let me tell you though, I will hook you up in a chat with Christina and she will tell you all about it. So that's what I did. That first day on the morning of day 4, I woke up after getting an entire night's sleep. And I called her. Sleep for me was huge. I mean, and any of you guys going through menopause or whatever, your sleep is disrupted. And my sleep, it was horrible. Like I would sleep 2-3 hours sometimes, and working, 10 to 12 hour days as a nurse it just wasn't good. So anyways, sleeping through the night, that third night, it was like, I will buy this for the rest of my life and everybody needs to be on it, So anyways, so I called her again. I said, I can't believe I just slept through the night. It's been freaking years since I had a good night's sleep. I felt even better. She said, throw this out on your wall. She sent me another little curiosity post. And that night, 2 old neighbors that I hadn't seen in years were ready to order. So she messages me and she's like, okay, girl, listen, do you want to upgrade to distributor? You got 2 ladies ready to order. And I was like, no. Listen, I've done all the things. I sucked at Mary Kay. I was a Mary Kay girl, and I spent more money, and I promised my husband I would never do anything like this again. So I said, because I did. I mean, in his defense, I really did. I really wasted a lot of money on that stuff. Never got any money. I never made any money off of it. So anyways, I gave her every excuse. My husband will be mad. My job, I work so many hours. My kids are in sports. I'm broke. Yada, yada, yada. Well, then she said to me, well, I'm just telling you, she said, if these 2 ladies decide to order, they're both coming in with an ultimate. That'll be $160. And I was like, $160. Well, obviously I was broke. I mean, $160 to me was like $1 million at that point in my life, So I'm like, what do I have to do? And what do I have to do? She said, you don't have to do anything. I will do everything for you. All you have to do is put your people in chats with me and I will take it from there. I'm like, I'm not kidding you. I don't even have time to upgrade to distributor. I said, here's my credit card. Here's my social. Can you do it for me? And she said, yeah. And she did it. By that night, I ended up making, they both signed up with ultimates. So day 9, I weighed in, I was down 6 pounds. And for somebody like me, who had been on every diet known to man, 6 pounds was huge. I thought, how in the world, like I'm eating all this food, how is this ever even going to work? But it did, right? 6 pounds and 15.5 inches, and as you guys know, you find out really fast that, it's so much more than weight loss. I could already tell I was different. I could tell my clothes were fitting different. And it was insane. So she said, Christina says to me, okay, so you lost 6 pounds and 15.5 inches. Did you do pictures? I said, yeah, I sent them to her and she put them side by side. And I was like, oh, okay. They do look different. And she said, all right, now throw these out on your wall. And I was like, oh, no, honey, I'm not doing that. And she goes, and I'm telling you, this girl, this stranger called me, I don't know, 25 times, texted me that day. I was working. By that night, I ended up finally getting up the nerve to do it. I still get butterflies in my stomach when I post before and afters. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. But I remember that first time was real scary. But anyway, so I ended up posting it, and that's when craziness broke loose. And my Facebook, my friends knew this was legit. If I was throwing my pictures out there, it had to have been legit. And so, you know, I very quickly hit my quick start bonus. Month one, I made $894. And, you know, that $894 was pretty significant for my family. I mean, to have an extra $900 added towards your family budget, I mean, that was huge. I mean, I can remember paying my electric bill on time, putting some money towards my car payment and having a little extra money to go to Target. I mean, that was huge, you know, living paycheck to paycheck. You just don't have that. So that was month one. By month two, I was down 22 pounds and I made $2,100. Then I'm like, so I can remember getting that bonus and I was like, Christina, is this for real? Like, I have made over $2,000. Like, I don't want to go spend this money if they're making a mistake. And she was like, no, girl, that's your money. Da, 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 da. I was like, well, I guess I got to tell my husband because I still hadn't even told him. So anyways, so I broke the news to him. I said, babe, listen, I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I did it. And I made $2,000. And he was like, you made $2,000. What are you doing? What? And he's like, all that nonsense, you know, anyway. So long story short, yes, I made over $2,000 that second month. You know, scalloping is real big in Florida and that's like a family trip we've always done, but we've always done it in debt and used our credit cards. That was the first year that I ever got to scallop cash, you guys. I paid for an entire Airbnb myself. So that was pretty awesome. So anyways, so 5 months in, I ended up replacing my income as a full-time nurse and quit my job. So once again, my husband, of course, he was in the car when I was talking and I don't like telling my story in front of him because he gets all, you know, I didn't say that, but he did. So anyways, I can remember coming to him and saying to him, you know what, it just happened to be that this whole thing came about where I had been a nurse at home health. I worked for a home health company in Florida and I had just gotten my raise. They literally gave me a 25-cent raise. It was September 29th. I got a 25-cent raise for saving lives. And I mean, you know what it takes to be a home health nurse. You're in their homes 8 to 10 a day. It's insane. And I got a 25-cent raise. The very next day, I hit silver director and silver director, you guys, is about $5,000 a month. And I replaced my income and I went to my husband and I said, listen, I'm going to quit my job. And he was like, you're going to quit your job for some pyramid scheme? And I was like, yeah. I said, I'm going to. I have a really good feeling about this. I just earned Founders Club. I hit Panama in 5 months too. So that was another huge thing. So I earned Founders Club. I replaced my income. The other 2 trips I earned as well. And I said, and he's like, I said, he was not for it. And I get it. You know what I mean? And I said, okay, well, give me 6 months. And if you guys have ever heard me talk, that is my mantra. That is what that is what we do. You have to give it 6 months. I said, give me 6 months. If I am not making a significant amount of money in 6 months, I promise you, I'll stop doing it and I'll go find another nursing job. That's the worst that could happen, right? So he's like, well, whatever, you're going to do it anyway. So you guys, 6 months later, I hit platinum director. That's 6 figures right there. So right there, I was way past what I was making as a nurse. I was almost triple what I was making as a nurse at that point. The very next month I hit executive. In 2020, I gave myself a $90,000 raise, you guys. $90,000 when everybody else was going home because their kids were, getting sent home from school and getting furloughed and people were losing their jobs. And you know what happened in 2020? We were all there together, right? I was home with my children as a stay-at-home mommy for the first time in my entire life. And those are the things that you don't know why you're here, but there's a reason. I had no idea that was going to be what happened. You know what I mean? I was able to be home with my kids, helping them get through my daughter was a senior, my son was a junior, going through that entire year of craziness. I didn't have to go to work. My parents live on our property and, they're older, and my stepdad's got some immunocompromised diagnoses. And, the last thing I would have wanted to do is to bring COVID home to my parents. Right. So just that alone, thanking my lucky stars in 2020 that I didn't have to do. You can't put a price on it. So this year, February, so under 2 years, I hit silver executive. So for the past, that was in February. So I think 6 months later, I've made between $20,000 and $25,000 a month. I've earned a total of 10 all expense paid trips. You guys, my husband and I, the ones that never went on vacation, we're getting ready to leave for Bora Bora in 22 days. We're staying in the huts, all expenses paid. I just got my itinerary for our the plane trip. Just the plane trip alone for us to fly out there is $7,000. It's insane. So we're going to Dubai in November. We're going to oh my gosh, where am I going? That's in November. December, the mentor. Yep. Yep. So December, the mentor trip. Founders Club is in January to Dominican Republic, and then the cruise is going to be in the spring.
Okay, wait a second. I got a question.
Yes.
When are you going on your mentor trip?
I'm going to be there December 12th through the 16th.
Me too.
Shut up.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious? We're going to be there together?
And Jackie's going too on my team. Yes.
Oh my gosh. We are going to have so much fun.
Okay. So I had to tell you that.
I can't wait to tell Steve. He'll be so excited. He'll be so excited. I know. And we're bringing our kids with us this time too, which will be crazy. Awesome. So, and just like she said, I was 289,411 points is where I ended last month. So, you know what? It just wasn't in the cards, and it's okay. And you know what? And we're blowing past it. I told my team, because the dates just got changed for Bora Bora. So we're actually going to be in Bora Bora for the last day of the month. So I told them, you know what? We hit silver executive in February with 28 days. We actually hit it in 26 days. There is absolutely no reason that we cannot hit gold executive in 28 days this month, right? So it's over and done with, and we're there, right? So that's my story. My goals right now are platinum by Fest, and I want to hit ambassador by January. So anyways, that's my story.
Okay, are you there? Okay, yeah. So talk to us about like, because I know like your business goes up and down too. It's not just like a skyrocket. I mean, you've got your down months, you've got your times when you're frustrated, you've got people on your team that gets frustrated. So talk to us a little bit about how you overcome that.
I know that when something crazy is happening, it means there's something really freaking amazing on the other side of it. I'm going to tell you right now, when I was running for silver executive, I found out my son might not graduate high school. So dealing with that and dealing with, if I could tell you the stories about the things that have come up against me during this whole entire last 2 years, I'm telling you, you have to learn, listen, it's going to happen. There is not one single person in singular that's going to go like this. It's just not going to happen. It's never going to be like that. You just have to remember there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. It's like a roller coaster, and you have to figure out when you're down here in the valley, you got to figure out, why am I here? What am I supposed to learn? And I do that to myself. I do that all the time. If there's ever anything that's going on, and there always is, I always always have to look. I always have to ask myself, what are you supposed to learn from this right now? Because let me tell you something, all the things that I've learned, I've been able to pay it forward and pass on to my team. You can't just go straight to executive. You got to learn. It's like coming out of the womb as an infant and walking up to your dad saying, hold me. It's just not going to happen. And if it does, it would be real weird. Right. And you wouldn't know how to sit up. You wouldn't know how to crawl. You wouldn't know all the things that you need to know to be an executive, because it's a whole different mindset. So
yeah, that's good. So, okay, I got a question that I think would be interesting. Yes. So what's one thing that you've splurged on that you would never have been able to do before?
It's really sad when I have to think about it. Here's the thing, you guys, I'm literally paying cash for my children to go to college. 100%. I would have never, ever been able to do that. My daughter did her entire first year of college completely debt free. I bought my daughter a vehicle. I gave my son my brand new Toyota Tacoma to drive to school in. I don't even have a car. So I'm going to let you know in a couple of weeks what I'm going to splurge on. But for me, you know what? I was so far in debt and so if you would have known me 2 years ago, you would have been like, my friends are just like, I can't even believe you've done all this. We're completely debt free. I mean, I haven't really got to the tangibles yet. I'm still at the point where all the big dogs are going to Bora Bora, like we're going to upgrade a room. And I'm like, no, we're good. We're just going to take whatever they give us. We'll be fine in the hut. We don't care, right? That's where I'm at. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. So I'm sorry. I pay for my kids' college. Oh, and hold on. That husband of mine is retiring on September 30th from his job. So there's that.
There you go.
So
that's pretty huge.
I'll come eventually.
That's pretty huge. So what would you say to someone if they're getting frustrated, like when they're first starting out, if they're getting frustrated in their first few months because they're putting people in chats, no one's signing up, people are returning kits. What would you say to someone that is on the verge of, maybe this just isn't for me?
That is when you need to push through. That is when you need to keep going, because those are the times that you're being tested for a reason. And you have to push through and you have to find out what's on the other side. We've all been there. And I will tell you another thing. No never means no in this business. It just means not right now. I was a no to Christina. I was a no to Christina because I didn't have the money. Honest to God, I did not have the money. I still didn't have it when I damn spent it, but I did, thank God, right? But honestly, those are the times that you need to push through. I can remember very early on, I might've been a director around there, calling Lindsay Shaw. She's my upline, and saying, I don't know what to do. I've hit a wall. I've talked to all of my friends. I don't know what to do. And you know what she said? You need to just keep going. That's the only way that you're going to succeed at this. You just have to keep going, and you just can't quit. That's it. You just can't. You just have to keep going. You just have to keep doing the things every single day. Reach up to your upline, figure it out, for heaven's sakes. You guys have Melissa Adams as your upline. Call her, get on the phone with her. I just walked through with one of my top leaders who's running for executive this month. She's like, I need to get new people. I need to get new distributors. We just went through the stuff that she's doing. And guess what we figured out? She wasn't sending out the verbiage for whatever reason that said, add your friends to take to our testimonial group right after somebody signs up. I said, girl, go right now. Guess what? Guess how many leads she's got today? 125, because she had 5 people go add to take a look to our testimonial group. There's usually little tweaks you can do, but you can't. I know what it's like when you're running for a goal. Let me tell you, my brain is mush. It happens. The only thing that you gotta call your upline and you gotta figure it out. Cause there's a reason, and there's just a tiny tweak that she can help you out with and get you going. Honest to God. It happens every time.
Yeah. And I know that one thing that I was always told is the breakthrough always comes after the breakdown.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah. It gives me the goosebumps. I mean, you know, yeah. Like, yeah, if you guys had 5 hours more, I could tell you all my stories, but I can't.
Yeah.
But you don't want to listen to all that nonsense. I mean, you guys, it is part of your singular quilt. And for whatever reason, you are going through whatever you're going through because you are supposed to help somebody else down the road. Seriously.
Yeah. So can I open it up for questions?
Yeah.
From people? Because I know that they probably have some questions. Let me see if there's any in the chats. No. Okay. So I'm going to open it up. If you guys have a question, just unmute yourself this time instead of putting it in the chats. Just unmute yourself and ask. And then that way, just interrupt me. But I'm going to, one of the things that you said that's so significant to me is when you're on those down times is what is it that I need to learn here? Because sometimes you have to walk in those valleys, not for yourself, but for somebody who's going to come behind you. And somebody Absolutely. That you're going to have to be able to say, look, I've walked in your shoes. I've been there. I know exactly what you're going through. And look at me because I'm your future. I'm what's going to happen if you just hang on, you know?
Yeah.
But being able to relate, being able to say, I've been right where you are. Sometimes we have to go through those things in order to be able to relate to somebody on our team or on our downline. So that's one thing I've learned too, is just embrace it. Embrace the journey. It's not an overnight get rich quick scheme. It's a journey, and it's hard work, and it's perseverance, it's determination, it's grit, it's tears, it's happy times. It's all of the above wrapped in one. So Is there anybody that has a question for her really quick before we let her go? Nobody? My word.
No questions?
Golly.
They're like, this girl's crazy.
Well,
Melissa,
I do. Okay, go ahead.
Melissa, I'd like to ask the same question that I had asked somebody else.
Sure.
What do you do if you have family members, specifically your spouse, who complain because you're on your phone all the time?
Oh, hello. Look at, you see my husband in the background? I'm just joking, but I'm not. Well, here's what you do. You get him to the freaking gold manager retreat. I'm going to tell you a really fast question. I'm going to tell you a very quick story about that. So obviously I quit my job in 5 months and earned those trips. So the first trip was Park City. And he says, I remember my husband specifically said he's coming, and he's going to say he didn't, but he did. He said, can't you just trade that trip in for money? I was like, no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. So anyway, so we are on our way to Park City, and we had a layover in Texas. And the whole time I get off the plane, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get in my chats real fast. And he was like, oh, great. You're going to be on your phone this whole time and complaining. Right. And he was like, okay, well, and I just said, you know what, forget it. I just won't follow up in my chats. I guess I'll just talk to you. So anyways, we get out there, and he met Singular, and he was blown away. This is a corporate Publix manager that just, he no gray area, 6 to 5 every single time he punches in. He works 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's how he is. And so he was like, meeting those people, going on that gold manager trip completely changed his life. He goes, I remember him specifically looking at the numbers they were talking about. He goes, and he looks over at me and he goes, so what rank are you? And I was like, I'm a silver director. And he's like, you're making that much money? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh my God. He goes, well, and you only need to get to get to an executive. And I was like, yeah. And he started, like, I could see the numbers turning in his head. And he goes, you need to call Mandy right now. you need to get your sister on the phone. You need to get your mom on the phone. You need to get your whole team going for it. Like he was like going to be the CEO of Singular. Right. And from then on, he jumped behind me when we got back on the plane to go back home to Florida. We were in the same airport and I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And he looks at me and he goes, are you going to get on your phone and start doing your chats? You need to start getting these people going for it. Like, and it has been absolutely, he is my biggest cheerleader. He is up till 3 a.m. on the last day of the month. He knows my team better than I know my team. He is, but I'm going to tell you right now, he hated it. I mean, he just, you're on your phone, you're spending more time on, on Zoom calls, you're doing this, you're doing that. I'm telling you, make it your very first goal to get to the Gold Manager retreat. It will change. It will change everything. It will. So
yeah,
that's my advice.
That's the same thing with mine.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, I will thank you guys for all jumping back on. Cora, I adore you. I love you so much. And anything I can do for you, let me know. And X team, do your IPAs because you don't want to miss another one of these.
Yes. Nice meeting you guys. Thank you so much for coming back for round 2.
Bye.
Let me know if you ever need anything. All right. Take care. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.